come to order. Randy, will you lead us in prayer? Dear Lord, thank you so much for this day. Teach the administrators, our children, watch over, protect us each and every day, Lord. We thank you for all the blessings you have given us. We thank you for each and every child that we represent here, and Lord, help us to represent them to the best of our ability. In Christ's name, we lift ourselves up. Amen.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Roll call. Randy Rentz.
Here.
Bo Barton. Melinda Ballard. Here. Aaron Glass.
Here.
Maria Bass. Here. Gary Castles.
Here.
Johnny Fallon. Here.
All right, item A is executive committee report.
Went through all the checks, everything looks good. Sales taxes are down for the third month in a row, this fiscal year. Hopefully things will turn around and the economy will get a little better. Right now, we're down about 24% total for the year.
Randy, what we at 23 versus 24, you know? Have you looked at it?
23 versus 24?
Probably down, right? More than
Oh,
likely.
yeah, we're down from both of those years. We're down. In 24, this time in 24, we were, in August, we were actually, $67,000 less in August. And this is 24 compared to 25. In September, we were about 8,000, and in this month, we are about 24,000 short of what we were last year.
Any pinpointed reason, or it's just
23
just the way it is?
23 was, we were a little higher in 24 than we were in 23. But we're even lower now than we were in 23. 25 is lower than we were in 23 on each month.
So David, what does that mean?
We're just down overall. I think it's the economy.
Budgetary wise, what does that mean?
That means our working check will be less.
So I do have a letter to go out tomorrow after he sent that out today, and I worked on a letter to go out just to encourage people to shop local. I know Christmas season is coming up, and we're all stretching to make ends meet, but we're all gonna do what we can to make Christmas, the best we can. So shop local, eat local. If you can't shop local, if you can't find what you need here, if you order online, Louisiana is a delivery state. That's not the right word. What's the word?
Shipping.
There's a word.
Yeah.
It starts with a D.
Yeah.
Yes.
I'll think
Delivery?
It's not delivery, it's another, I'll think of it. I'll Google my letter in a minute. But wherever, and what it basically is sales tax is applied wherever you deliver the goods to. So if you order from Amazon and you have it shipped to a Caldwell Parish resident, Caldwell Parish gets the sales tax. If you order from Sam's Club, if you order from Walmart, if you order from Shein, wherever you order from, we're a delivery state. So if we can shop local, support our local businesses, and when you can't, order and have it delivered, because that's gonna come back into our economy, for sure.
But Nick, I think you gotta add a little bit more to just saying shop locally. When you're saying shop locally, there's nothing that you want here. So I think we need to think a little bit outside of the box to add more to that, because, it's many things, like cologne, for example. Where can I get cologne at? So we need to look at expanding what we have here
I agree,
to increase. I think we need to be parish friendly. I think we need to be user friendly. I think the relationships need to be better, because people look at all those things and you wonder why they don't want to, have any interaction. Not us specifically, I'm just talking about the parish as a whole. So I think those who are in leadership roles need to think outside of that box, because just shopping locally, that's 2020, 1900s. That's over with now. because, like I said, I order cologne all the time. But I have it sent to Monroe, but now knowing what I know, the taxes come
Ship it
here.
to my house, on
Yeah,
your feet.
but again, other people won't say this, I will. What's here?
Yeah, yeah. Well, and we have to support each other, and that's part of the rest of what my letter talks about is, you know, our both local businesses, they support our sports teams, they support our schools, they support all of our activities. So let's do what we can to generate and support each other, you know, buy local, because they're gonna give back to us, and the more that we buy, the more that they thrive, and they're gonna spend their money here too, and it just becomes a win-win situation when we do that. But sometimes you can't buy local, and so that's kind of your second step is, okay, just know that shipping it here is a next.
Sandra Rose, what did you go buy your cologne? Well, I sent you. Can you buy cologne here?
Not that I know of, no. It's in Monroe. Do they ship?
Yeah, they will.
Okay.
Ulta, I mean, like,
Yeah.
David prints out, you know, he gets like the sales tax where all of it comes from, and anyone over a certain amount, I mean, we, you know, literally, you know, Amazon is on there,
When you do
Walmart is on
when you
there,
do
Sam's Club.
curbside pickup, is that?
It's
and you go
wherever it's
Monroe-
delivered. If
so-
you go pick it up
So
in
if you do
Monroe,
curbside pickup in Monroe, you're not.
you're paying taxes in Monroe, yeah, yeah. So, it's just good information, and just trying to share that information is what we're looking at. And I've tried to become very involved in our Chamber of Commerce so that businesses know that we are, and we can support each other and help, you know, understand even yesterday's breakfast, understand we're all on the same page. We're all trying to support. We're trying to provide you a workforce, and, you know, we're trying to support each other,
Well,
so.
for sure, the businesses in this community support these kids more than
Absolutely,
any other community I've.
absolutely, absolutely.
They really, really, really support them.
All right, item B is review and vote on approval of the October 15th, 2024 board meeting minutes and October 30th, 2024 finance meeting minutes.
I make a motion we accept them. Second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Item C is recognize Melissa Shambola as a November employee of the month, Pelican Benefit Advisor. We got anybody here?
Good evening, sir. Thank y'all for having me again, Ms. Melissa. A couple of different people said something about you I'd like to read. Ms. Shambola is willing to help wherever she is needed. She always has a smile and kind words. And then another one said, Melissa goes above and beyond her job expectations. She is always willing to lend a hand wherever she is needed, and does so with a smile on her face. That's twice. Smile on her face. She has been the biggest blessing to our work family. Please help me in congratulating Miss Melissa Shambola.
Thank you.
Thank you. All right, item D is recognize Gumbo Games student athletes who competed at state.
So we're here tonight to recognize our athletes that participated in the Louisiana Gumbo Games. So Louisiana Games is the Louisiana Games Uniting Minds and Body. Track and field competitions are designed for children and adults ages 5 and up who have physical or visual disabilities, as well as hearing or intellectual impairments. So we have 4 students that participated in the following events at state, and I'm going to give them their medals. Me and Miss Ruby. So Coach Ruby worked with these students in the 100-meter dash and shot put, and we also wanted to recognize Gail and Rita for attending this event with us at Natchitoches. And all 4 of these students were placed high enough to qualify for the national competition in July of 2025. In Grand Rapids, Michigan, so we might have to be selling a lot of spaghetti. So in the future, we do have another regional gumbo meet, and which we had for them to qualify for that, and so we had originally taken 14 students all from elementary up to high school to that, and these 4 qualified for state. But the next one is in April, and and Shreveport, and Coach Ruby and our APE teacher, Miss Lindsay Cates, will continue to work with these students and the other athletes that will be going to that. So at this time, we will present these medals to them. Michael Ellis, he got first place in shot put in his division.
Michael, I have something for you too. It's a Caldwell pin. You can put on your.
I'll help you just a second, okay, buddy? And then Kimberly Lowry, the 100-meter dash. Put it on backwards, sorry. Thank you. Mindy Sharp, she got first place in the 100-meter dash. So I have a story. Can I tell a story about you, Mindy, real fast? She might get mad at me, but Mindy has a cochlear implant, and so when the gun goes off, they shoot the gun just like a regular track meet. And so she was trying to tell us that she wanted that out of her ear, and we weren't understanding. And she got really upset, but she ended up winning first place because she had a stranger that she didn't really know had to tap her on the back, and so
She ran fast.
and she is. And so she was so mad she ran. And then I have Dentarius Rockmore, 9.8 meters in the shot put, in first place.
They all did real good.
They did. Actually,
Your head's too big.
It's that hairdo.
Here, Miss. So,
What were you saying, Rudy?
I said they all hit a personal best. Like she said, we took them to the one in Ruston last year, and everybody increased from Ruston when we went to the one in North Ruston. So it was a good event. They did very well, and I'm proud of them.
and Michael is excited about trying everything except the running events. He was real excited about trying the javelin, so they let him go out there and practice and see if he likes it. He said he wants to try that one, so.
Can we get our picture with them before?
Yeah, let's do it, yeah. Up here? Yeah, okay. Yes, okay, yeah.
If the students will just get right here,
Yes.
the board will get behind you.
We'll come stand behind you. If you put your headphones on. Yeah. Come on around. Nice chair.
One way or the other.
Dentarius loves to take pictures. He's super excited.
Y'all may not be able to stand in the back of the sign.
Haley, yeah, we take one with the coaches and then one with just the board. Yeah, one with all the coaches and the board.
It's like,
Yeah.
in the back.
There he is.
There you go, Baron. All right, everybody ready? 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, and 3. Perfect.
And then.
Kids stay. Kids stay.
Y'all stay.
Y'all stay. We were just getting out of the picture. Oh, okay. Okay. There you go, Baron.
Board, okay, yes.
Down.
Yes.
Okay. I can see everyone. Ready? 1, 2, 3.
Perfect. You'll be on Facebook later.
Oh, yes.
Run real fast.
Thank you. Did I drop that?
Sure.
Congrats.
Where's taking her?
Wow. Congratulations.
It's about 5 months.
To about 5 months ago.
Yeah, I decided I was going to put it on.
You gonna be a big boy.
Big girl thing.
Now the kids out in the hall can come in. Yeah.
All right, everybody in? All right, item E is financial update.
Well, I don't have a whole lot to talk about it. I mean, things are not as good as they were last year, and last year was already in the tank. So, general fund, we're doing $137,000 worse than we were last year. We got that budgeted, but again, that's not good either. I mean, we have a $900,000 deficit budget, so it is in line with that. On sales tax, that second to last column D, at the very bottom, it's down 109. That is a formula error. It's down 85,000. That's a little bit of a benefit because our teachers' retirement percentage went down, so we're getting a little bit of a bump there, favorable. But again, overall, we're down $85,000 in that fund as compared to prior year. Lunch fund is a little bit of a bright spot. It's up $17,000. We were 137 last year. This year we're at 154. A lot of that has to do with total reimbursement is better than it has been, and that's offset by food costs. So that still continues to garner. And then maintenance, I think there's been a few extra repairs than what we've had in the past. So we're $32,000 worse off than we were last year. Last year we were down 205 at this point, and this year we're down 237. Of course, that buoys up when we get sales property taxes feed into here. So just because it's negative over here, it's not going to end up negative overall. And that's it on that. And then the next page is a letter that I sent to Senator Womack and Representative Plaza talking about tax reform. So if y'all not heard anything about that, we are under the on that. Probably won't know a whole lot until the 2 weeks is over. I think November 26th is the final day. I think tax reform is probably needed, but to accomplish it in 2 weeks, I think is crazy. I mean, that's more of a year-long process, and they're trying to throw it all together, and I think they're going to screw it up. So whether we come out favorably or not, I don't know. I know inventory tax has been talked about today, both here and at the what was the new thing? Today's meeting,
Industrial board.
Industrial
I
board.
need to go.
And the parish will lose about 250 of that. Our share is around 102,000. It'll go down for property tax. We cannot raise the millage per the governor, so he's trying to pit us against the local businesses, which is not permanent. So anyway, we'll see how that plays out. Supposedly sales taxes will go up, which is good, but the exemptions he's talking about is taken off the table are pretty not impressive, favorably, but very aggressive. He's talking about taxing something that the blind people get, where they don't pay sales tax. Hospice care, cancer drugs, meaning no longer taxes in on sales taxes. So it's pretty
I got it in my office.
aggressive. I think there's 41 things that are taken off the sales tax exemption. So anyway.
So again, they take $100 away from you, but you can't go out and make the $100 up the way you feel like you can.
Right. And that's coming from Scott Meredith, who's
And these are the people that we elect,
yes.
that we know gonna end up affecting us at some point, but we still elect them.
Yeah. And then I think the other big thing was, it'll go to the people as far as.
Yes, part of what they're talking about in this, and you have to kind of look at the hidden language.
Yeah.
But some of the hidden language in there is that they're wanting to change line items to where they don't necessarily go to the popular vote, they're just a 2/3 vote in Baton Rouge. And so if you're not very aware of everything that's going on, things are sliding in that look favorable. And fortunately, we're a part of groups that are constantly looking and having conversations, which prompted this letter, because one of the things that they're touting is that this is going to be a way to fund the teacher pay raise, the $2,000, $1,000 we've been giving. And part of what they say is this is going to fund that as a permanent raise. Well, that money is actually going to come out of what they're calling a paying off the UAL, which is gonna help us with retirement, but then they're telling us we have to take that savings and pay out the raise with that. So the best way we've described it is you're just moving the vegetables around on the plate. You're not really giving a raise, you're taking what should have been, and in some districts, it may not be enough of a savings to even fund the entire raise. And so it's super frustrating. They're talking about getting into EEF money, which we have been putting and saving our part of that, getting ready for technology upgrades. Do you want to speak to that?
Yeah, we have chipped away at that slowly without dipping into it heavily so that we could repair small things that E-rate wouldn't cover, like our school board office needs new Wi-Fi. They're planning on supposedly taking all of it, and that was money that was made out of the tobacco settlement that's supposed to be ours. And if they take it away, we don't have enough time to pull it out and use it because you can only apply for it once a year. And if they take it out before then that money's gone. And I think we're at, what, a little over 250,000 on that?
253.
That's $250,000 that they're just taking away from us, so.
And the AG money.
And the AG money
We
is
got
the other.
60,000 in that. That would go away, which means we got fund that.
Hey,
And
Dave,
Yes, sir.
the letter you wrote was eloquent. But I think Randall will agree it would be more so addressed, probably more so Gary. Neil is 3.0 miles away from here. Why don't we invite that person here so we can speak for ourselves? You can't say what I want to say.
I understand.
You know, and it makes no sense. This person's right here. He's been here, and we don't utilize the options that we have to speak directly to him. You writing a letter to him is fine. It serves a little weight. But when he hears exactly what we're saying, it goes over a little bit, a little bit different.
He is in Baton
Well,
Rouge.
even before
Yeah.
he got in Baton Rouge, this ain't just happened like the last couple of weeks. Walmart. What I'm saying is, why are we not meeting with these people face to face to let them know exactly what our, position is? Because they don't care about what happened to us. And then we have to go to these people and tell them, well, we gotta do this, we gotta do that, we gotta cut this, we gotta cut that. I mean, it's just not rocket science to use the people that we have and talk directly. And this is not from a negative standpoint. I'm saying in the future, we can kind of look, maybe talking directly to those people. Because I want to speak for myself. I don't want you as a superintendent speaking.
Yeah. And I agree with that.
And
And
not from a negative standpoint, because there's always more that we can add to the conversation. It's kind of what I'm getting at. So it's not a negative thing that I'm saying you and her not speaking for me. I think Brandon, like I said, because we all got our different ideas to go, so we can kind of relay that to them. I think it also helped. I would assume, I hope it would.
I would hope so.
And I feel like we
Yeah.
do try to keep a very good, I will say, was it about 3 weeks ago, we went and picked up Neil and drove out to Kelly to the bridges that are out. And so James and David and I picked up Neil and we rode out there and we
But
took
was it a
pictures
board member
of.
with it?
No.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
You
So that makes sense,
Yeah.
yes, yeah, that makes sense. Mine was just okay, you're going down to talk, he was going down to meet with the governor, and I said,
Right.
let's get in the car and go down here and look at this road that's costing us over.
Because that's your district,
such and
yeah.
such,
That's
Kelly,
Kelly.
yours. And you had brought a lot of those concerns to me, but I had never been out there before, and so we just reached out. So I do think he's very willing to, Baron, I didn't think about including the
Well,
moon.
no, that's,
And I-
again, that's
yeah.
fine. We
Yeah.
all have slights. The only thing I'm doing is just putting it out there, so in the future, we can actually look at, different options and do it a little bit different, because the more we have, on board, I think the better to be, because you gotta realize people are taking our votes for granted. They're doing whatever they wanna do, because they know we're not gonna get involved, we're not gonna say anything until it's too late. Well, once the chicken has had the hen has had the egg, it's too late. So I think what I'm saying is the more of us becoming involved in relaying this message, might be.
Well, and I don't mind, I will share if you don't have his number. Our concern here is that this happened last week. It was like all of a sudden we called this meeting and then our groups start going off and you're like, pay attention, pay attention. So I sent it to him because I'll be honest, a lot of it, it's over my head. It's like I don't understand what this is saying. I need you to digest this and come together and get this information out as quickly as we can.
Thing about it is, they're gonna vote on this before anybody has an opportunity to do anything.
Exactly,
Do anything at all.
exactly.
I mean, we could have, if we could say, okay, next board meeting, we can come in and clarify all these
Yeah.
things. Well, it'd be too late for
There's
them
no
to be
time,
done.
there's no time.
So they're doing these things, just, you know,
Intentional.
yeah, let's
Yeah.
intentional that way. And as far as that bridge, that's 8 years. That's 8 years. I'm sure they're gonna jump right on that bridge since y'all went out there. Would you know daggum whether or not?
I think
I'm
they,
just trying to be loud, I'm just trying to nag, let's get this done.
But it's frustrating, you
Yeah.
know, because it's like every month, it's something different. It just adds to the frustration, the aggression, and you wonder why people, you know, just lose interest in public service, you know, trying to do the right thing. I mean, you're a no-win
Or
situation.
the way that it's presented, and that was, you know, when it first came out, and it was like, oh, teacher pay raises, and,
Yeah.
oh, they're gonna do this, and I'm like, yes, this all sounds great, but where's that money? And when you get to looking, you're like, no, it's not really teacher pay raises, you're taking the money from this to put it
Yeah.
over here, it's not.
Because David, my understanding of the letters that if this goes forward, we're in trouble.
It's everybody.
Yeah, it's everybody.
Well, but I'm worried about us, you
Right.
know?
We
So
can't do
many
it.
of the numbers that are being used are
Mhm.
very loosely played. And I'm not gonna say they're budgeted numbers, but I think they're throwing the numbers out there without really putting a lot of thought into it. I mean, because I went to a business managers meeting, 8 days ago, Wednesday, and Rapides business managers started going through how sales taxes was calculated. You know, for us, we're supposed to see an $800,000 increase. Well, that sounds great. But when you start drilling down and seeing how they're, I mean, because so many of the exemptions or the add-ons that they're doing, you know, they're gonna start taxing haircuts. Pool boys, you know, going around,
Guard boys.
yeah. They're not gonna collect the tax. So, I mean, there's so many of these places that they're theoretically.
You should see the list, it was,
It's highly suspect. You know, I don't know where they just took the number that they think it's gonna be divided by population for that parish and dropped it in. That's not real.
and some of the figures we heard today was just divide equally by 64, number of parishes, and you're like, you know that's not
You still
right.
get the short end of the
Yeah.
stick.
Yeah, very much so. So 800,000 is not a real number.
Right.
And then the other side of that is, even if we make whatever, you know, say that it is 800,000, we can move that money over to prop up the general fund, because that money's, you have to pay the salaries and benefits. So, I mean, and that's where everybody is, on different levels. So many of your sales taxes or property taxes are dedicated money, you can't just move them around. And there seems to be a misunderstanding about that in Baton Rouge, of all places. Or that's how they're trying to sell it. Maybe they do understand it, they're just trying to slide it under. I don't know which one it is.
That's what it feels like. That's what it feels like.
If it looks like a duck, quack like a duck, is a duck. I mean, that's exactly what it is.
So, very much discouraging.
So if they change it, how soon does it go into effect? Immediately, 6 months down the road? I mean,
I don't know, I've not.
There
I've
was
seen
a,
the
there's
timeline,
a,
but
there
I
was a projection on that
don't
timeline we
know
saw today.
how that-
you know what it is?
It's on my desk, I can give it to you.
I think I have one of those.
So if it-
It is, because we actually met this as a result, yesterday morning at the breakfast, conversation started coming up and said, we really need to sit down and look. So when we got back yesterday, we started texting and saying, when can we? And today was the only day that we could all get together. So we met with police jury, sheriff's office, DA, and tax assessor to sit down and just say, okay, this is what we're thinking, this is what y'all are. Because at some point, we all have to be on the same page, but sometimes we're not on the same page. And so it's like, you need to hear our side, we need to hear your side, so we can decide what side we're on, you know, and understand each other. So I think there's so much unknown right now, that, and it's so quick, so quick. But yeah, so we were sharing lots of information today about, you know, trying to figure out what was actually going on. So I just wanted to be sure that people understood it says, yes, this is gonna fund teacher raises, but it's really not. You know, they're trying to hit all of the positives to make it look like it's good, but the money's gotta come from somewhere.
Yep.
That's all I have.
All right. Item F, district leaders update.
Okay.
I feel like I haven't talked to y'all in a while. I was gone September and October. We, had our first grandbaby the night of September board meeting, and then last month I was in Dallas. But, we've had a good year so far. Our enrollment is really low. I went back today looking, so right now the pre-K is only 88 kids. That's the lowest it's been since the 2021 year we came back from COVID. The peak was in 04, 05, we had 144. So it's usually over 100. So, 22, 23 was 96, 91, and now 88. So I think that goes along with, you know, the decrease everywhere, but it's really low for us. But, at Kelly, we've got 61 3-year-olds. Which is, so our Head Start funded enrollment, we're not there yet. With the new standards coming out, they've encouraged, not necessarily encouraged, but told us with the new standards they came out with are going to require a lot more programs, a lot more, I guess, adding to the job responsibilities of our people. So what they've encouraged us to do is to reduce our funding number of kids without reducing the money, because they're adding the burden on to need more staff to do what they're wanting to carry out. So it may be something we do look at, because we're not at that number anyway. So I don't know that it would hurt us, but we'll just have to look at it and decide before our grant is due to see that. But the new standards are required. They're requiring a lot. They're going like, so one person right now has maintained all the family services, and they're putting a cap on it now. Like, one person can't do more than 44 families at the most. Well, that would be like 2.5 people for what we're doing right now. The mental health things that they're gonna require us to provide for our kids and families. Having someone, not certified or qualified in those areas. And if we don't have that person, then we have to contract. So it's a lot more, they're pushing down what we're gonna have to do, so we'll just have to look at it and see money-wise what we'll be able to do, with our budget that we have, so. But there's been a lot of great things going on with both schools. Sketch Strategies has been in working with them. First Day Learning, it's been some really good, in-services conversations the teachers have had, because I mean, y'all hear it from everybody that it's tough right now in classroom, even with those little ones. It's some really hard days. So, today, they, well, 3 and 4-year-old teachers, they all frazzled. I mean, they looked like they were running races all of them by the end of the day. It was just.
So, Monica, what are we doing to, I guess, uplift them, you know, let them know that, I mean, I can't lie and say it's gonna be a better day, because we don't know. So what?
Well, and that's kind of what we told them there. You know, we're here to support them. We're anything they're asking for as far as help, or, you know, if I see that you're doing a really good job, and maybe I think you're doing better, trying to help, give them the time to go and, you know, watch another teacher and learn strategies and things.
So does the board, the superintendent, the directors, I mean, do we need to play a role in trying to, I guess, be the shoulder to lean on to try to, I guess, reinforce? Because, I mean, people are just leaving, you know, and we can afford to, you know, people to leave. So, I mean, if it's extra effort that we can, you know, offer.
Right.
I don't know, because I'm not there on a day-to-day, but I know most people that are doing jobs now, they would prefer to just quit doing it.
Right,
Yeah.
right. I mean, I don't think they're going through anything that's not happening at any other grade level right now, which doesn't make it okay, but,
Well, and if that's the case, I'm talking, you know, for everybody,
Right.
you know,
Right.
the entire system. Maybe some
This
type
is
of,
a very good segue.
Yeah.
Rebecca wants to talk about some things that we're about to do because of this.
Yeah, well, and I'll start just kind of from the beginning of what I was gonna say with my report, because I think
you
it's
was
all,
finished, Mark?
yeah.
I think it's all tied together. So even though enrollment is down, across the district, our number of students with IEPs is the highest it's been in 14, 15 years.
That's not good,
It's challenging.
especially if you're talking about cutting out the department, you know,
So-
education and special ed and.
Right, so, I mean, yeah, MFP's probably gonna appreciate that, but the burden on classroom teachers We're at 21%, is that what was in the? So we're at 21% of students right now, which is above the state. And
21% IEPs.
21% of our student population has an IEP.
That, give me a raw number, approximate, like out of 1,000 students.
Out of 1,400, there's 287.
287?
90.
What's the lowest elementary school number? That's- but-
I'm at 196.
That's more than her school. That's not good.
Atlanta schools percentages above.
Yeah, and so some pockets of kids, schools have, and I can't sit here and pretend that the burden on classroom teachers is not enormous because of that. We've been working with some feedback from teachers about some of the things that we have coming in. Teachers have really requested some more, instead of sitting at PD and learning, somebody coming in with them and watching what's going on and, helping them in that moment, in that class with that student. So we're trying to shift with the vendors that we work with and the people that we have on staff here so that we can really, especially in the next couple of months, because we can't afford for people to walk and go do something else, So how can, between contract folks and us, especially the people in my department, how can we rearrange what we're doing right now so that we can be there more, on the ground, in the moment with these teachers, with these kids that are in crisis, because it varies from, kids who, it's one thing for a general education teacher to deal with kids who have significant learning differences and gaps and stuff, but we're talking about some pretty severe behaviors that are happening, I would say in every building.
Yes.
Multiple
in every building.
So it's where I would be, y'all said you wanted a lot of truth from us, so here it is. Our teachers really are, they're struggling right now because we have such a high population of kids with, thinking and learning differences, with severe disabilities, with, and, when you go to college and get an education degree, you usually take one class instead. And those are for our certified teachers. So our caseloads on our SPED teachers are very big right now. They're very heavy. And a lot of them are not certified special education teachers. So they're having to spend a lot of time learning because they didn't walk into the job with the skill set. They're doing it, and they're doing an amazing job. But they were not hired necessarily with the skill set to work with some of the things that they're seeing out of kids. So it has, and I think, not to dismiss anything, but around this time of year is usually when you really start feeling it, because teachers have been dealing with the same thing for 3 months, 4 months at this time, and it finally gets to the point where it's just like I can't do this. I can't be hit one more day, or I can't. I can't deal with, the tantrums that, I'm thinking more about like what you're a little, I know I was at Kelly one day and they were like, I heard a little boy crying and I was like, oh, how long has he been crying? And they were like, August 10th. And I was like, oh, no.
That's really not funny.
But, so that really is the reality of what.
Because their perception, our perception is their reality.
Oh,
and
absolutely.
I know what I want to say, but it may not be the right time. But let me ask you this. Rather than you give me a number at whatever school, let's say Richwood had a high number of those students. Mm-hmm. That school is almost set up to not perform well, right? You would think that.
So make it a lot more difficult.
So if we only have 3 schools and 1 of the 3, 2 of the 3, or 3 of the 3 is not performing well because we got this high number of students.
I know Christy's not here, but one of the things that the state does is they, that subgroup breakdown. And the school gets a letter grade, but the school also gets a letter grade for certain populations of students. And we are really struggling. You know, a lot of schools don't have that subgroup. A lot of school systems don't have that subgroup. Every one of our schools has a subgroup for students with disabilities.
So how are we compared to maybe other systems like this as for the percentage? We higher?
As far as number of students or performance?
No, the 21%.
We're higher. Yeah.
But also with those students, you're not only you're dealing with the students, you're having to deal with that many more parents too.
It takes a lot of, because these kids have a lot of requirements for things like their meetings and that type of stuff, so it pulls huge amounts of time away from school staff. If a quarter of your kids, need these extra planning components that we have, it does eat up a significant amount of time that everybody is having to spend. And not that they don't want to, not that everybody doesn't want to spend this time and know that the kids deserve it. It's just a reality of that's what is required when you're dealing with this high population of kids.
But you know what we hear? We hear from a teacher that's saying, there's no I can't discipline this child because when I discipline this child, it doesn't go anywhere. Well, the discipline of those children is different than the discipline of so the child is disrupting the entire classroom where the teacher can't teach. You really can't discipline that child the way you normally do.
And
And that's what we hear is, there's no discipline. I can go here, but why would I turn that child? So I don't discipline because I know it's not going to do any good. So that child goes from Columbia to Central, or goes from Grayson to Columbia, without anybody really knowing that child has been causing a problem. And it goes from Columbia to Central by the same way. And so the teachers aren't able to, or don't know about these children that are really giving problems because they're not being reported or being disciplined.
And sometimes when they transition, they grow out of it, and sometimes they don't grow out of it, and you don't. But that's one of the things that we're looking at is what can we do to provide support in the moment for the teachers so that we can hopefully address those behaviors and give teachers the tools and the strategies to be able to deal with and understand what sets this kid off, what does. And of course, when you look at the whole continuum, which we have the benefit of being able to do because we've seen these kids from little and now they're at high school, and you look at some of the kids who are working in the Transitions Cafe and you're just like, if you'd have told me that kid would be doing this when that kid was over at this elementary school, I would have said you're a liar. But you watch that kid transition, and so we have the beauty of being able to see the big picture of hoping for. We just have to help people in the moment get to that big picture. And I can't tell you how many times Alana and Katie will talk about, she'll say, you're going to have trouble out of this, and they get to the high school and Alana never sees them. But Alana's like, well, you didn't tell me about this, and she's like, well, because they never gave me any problems. And so they do as they transition. Some of them stay, some of them don't. You don't know. So we're just trying.
We do our best in transition meetings.
Absolutely, to try to prepare.
But then just this week, we got 2 from other districts with very extensive needs. And I mean, they just came out of nowhere. And it's not from within our district that's the majority of the problem. It's students that we gain from other districts. Because we don't know them, and we have to take the time to build those relationships and redo evaluations.
I think with the discipline thing, I think this is another one of the great things that the state does to us, because the state passed all of these laws about teachers' rights and discipline and all of those things, and so it makes it seem like the state's really protecting teachers, man, but the state didn't write, but it's in the fine print, is that federal law still usurps that, which for kids with disabilities means nothing that the state says actually matters. So, when you have a student with but some of the issues that I know are frustrating to teachers, the state may say something like, well, and we haven't done this in Caldwell for years, but you can paddle any kid with parent permission, but there's another state law that says you can't paddle any kid with a disability. Well, so, the state plays a lot of games making teachers feel like they're really trying to support them with these out of control things, but when you really know what's going on, it's all lip service, so.
So Rebecca, I guess this would apply to each school. Is there some type of comfort plan, that we're looking at to do this? And if so, I would like to see it. I'm almost certain the board would like to see it, not from the standpoint of, an observation, but if there's anything that we can do, because to me, it sounds like it's gonna be problems. And you're talking about 21%, 200 and some odd, that's a lot. So if you divided that just within the schools that we have, 20, 30, 40, 50 kids at each school, that's causing this amount of, I guess, issues. No fault of their own, because they can't help, the way they were born. But at the same time, I represent students, I represent teachers. Now I'm concerned about those teachers because we can't afford to lose 1, 2, 3, 4.
Agree.
So I think it's imperative that we collectively start to putting something, not just for now, but henceforth, because it appears that this is going to be a long-term type situation, and it don't look like it's going to get any better. So
That's a Monica, but
No, I mean, like, so of that 88 kids,
Mhm. How many you
14, and that's not a speech IEP, that's,
14 out of 88, that's a lot. 'Cause
and that's
one-
right
one
now,
could
that's
be-
not even, there's still some on the, coming up through it.
You set up to fail. I mean,
Well, I mean, Miss Robin McKay is the early interventionist there, and she does an awesome job with all the inclusion. Right now, that's what if she said, if I get one more kid, I don't know how I'll see them.
so
with
so
all
the
her-
teacher's about to explode at school in any given day, at any given time. Do they have somebody to go and talk to, a therapist? Or anybody?
These are your therapists.
Well, they may not want to talk to you because you're already in, I'm saying. So I guess I'm just looking outside the box to see what can we do to provide these people the tools, that they need. Because obviously they need something, and we don't know what they are, but we know they need something.
We're trying to listen and we're trying to respond. I mean, this conversation started with me a couple weeks ago at my advisory council meeting. And so then I began having conversations and other conversations happened. And so I called Rebecca in and I said, let's see what we can do to try to figure out. And so she began meeting with her people, and she and I have a couple of different drafts that are going back and forth. And so kind of talked with principals at the staff meeting on Tuesday. We're meeting tomorrow to kind of lay out what the needs are there and assigning different people different places to go in and support and give them that in the moment. So it's fixing to get started. It just takes
Giving the teachers the support.
giving the teachers
Okay,
the support.
if you guys are going to be doing the listening, just make sure that you listen. Don't give them any feedback right then and there. Let them feel like they're telling you something and it means something to you. So, because remember, we're trying to realize who we are and what we are, and at the same time help those, because I'm concerned. Just listening to what time you guys meet tomorrow. So maybe the board between now and the end of the year, go to each school and just maybe shake a hand or tell them that we love. I don't know what we can do, but at the same time, I know they need something, and I don't think it would be leadership for us to sit back and not give them anything. I'm talking from a board
I don't
standpoint.
think any gesture is too small.
Mhm.
And I mean,
One thing I do want to add though is, I know we're talking about special populations, but a lot of students in the classrooms that are giving behavioral problems to teachers may not even have an IEP
Right.
or on that,
Yeah.
radar, so I mean, you're
That's
looking
just
at
an addition
students,
to.
that's an addition
Yeah.
to, so I mean, even students that are, getting special education services, a lot of hours it's just they're trying to fill those gaps, but some of them, the behaviors come from regular ed students who are
Right.
making A's and B's,
Right.
but they're still disruptive to the classroom.
if you see a teacher, just tell them.
Thank you.
Well, I mean, the
Yeah.
lady that came here, I'm assuming she was a teacher.
Michelle.
Okay, because I don't know half the people that work here, and I probably pass them all the time. it used to be, we would know that because we were part of the process. Now we're not, so we don't know who is and who, at least I don't, so I'm speaking for me. So, if I knew somebody, maybe if we sent out like I guess a text to the principal, let the principal show it to somebody that there's other people that know about your problem and we care about it. I have a great concern about this. Never mind. It just bothers me when people have issues and because we already know we already know what the state is doing to them. Okay, they have every meeting, 12 months out of the year, 12 different things piled on them every month. At some point, you know, you're chopping a tree long enough, eventually it's gonna fall. I'm worried about the influx of people just saying, you know, I can't deal with this anymore. I don't have anybody to talk to. They don't understand. I just, whatever. And that Armageddon could come.
I had this conversation today with Superintendent. Just how, you know, I mean, put it in your words, how many chops, you know, you know, at
Can't ask them too much.
at what point do we, you know, so it's definitely something that's on our radar.
It was item number 1 on the district strategic team agenda.
Well, I know the teachers are really, really hurting. I know they're stressed out. I know. And also, I know the principals are really stressed out.
Yes.
So who do y'all go to?
I mean,
So who do you go to? Because I mean, it's everything. I mean, the whole thing. It's really crazy out there.
It really is. And you feel bad when you, like this evening, you have a teacher standing in front of you in tears and they don't know what to do and you're just like, I don't know either.
I know.
We do talk to each other, you know, and try to bounce ideas, like I'm at my wit's end. I don't know where else to offer. I've been there and helped and done all the things. What do you got? Do you have anything different that I've not done? But I mean, it's a lot.
I mean, to the point to where I know multiple times a day, I'm just going to rescue a teacher. Just give me this child. Let me take them for a minute from you, just to give you that little bit of peace. I mean, I've done that 5 times just today. You know,
Work in the dark.
I worked in the dark at nap time with my light off because I needed to give a teacher a break, you know, and that student needed a break, you know. So I mean, and I know we all do that all the time, you know.
See,
but
if everybody on the flow chart get it and there's nowhere they can go, the flow chart eventually evaporates. I mean,
That's where we have to sit back down and look at the chart and figure out another way. We do.
Well, Mike's had a great month. So he is going to be totally exempt from everything we just said.
Sure. Probably about a month ago, right after the last board meeting, we started seeing a lot of spikes and drops in the network, and we're still dealing with it. I spent the break up here trying to identify what all it is. We've seen different stuff. A lot of it is people plugging stuff into the network that shouldn't be there. It's not necessarily a security issue, but what
People
it does
as
is teachers. A lot of teachers have plugged things in where they brought from home where they were told not to, and it causes issues in the network that not only backed up that site, it transferred to the hub, which is here, the school board office, and started causing issues here, which backed up further up the pipe with our internet service provider and shut some of their stuff down. So over that break, I tweaked a lot of the network to try to adjust some things. We're still making adjustments. I'm still working with our service provider. We're trying to make a lot of adjustments to the network to try to clear out all those issues that are created. But I report straight to the junior high. They're not here today. I report straight to the junior high every day to try to help them because they are the weak link. They have some older network equipment. They have other stuff, and it affected them more than anybody else. And yeah, either Brian or myself show up there every day.
so Melissa, if this happened at your school, what happens to that teacher?
If they were the one,
Just trying to see if we got a plan in place, because we always penalizing kids. Adults know not to do this, they've been told not to do it, they shouldn't be doing it.
They've been told not to do it. I don't know if we've had them sign anything.
Yeah, that's the
They do sign an electronic use policy.
They do.
But it would have to be a formal reprimand.
Yeah, just, I mean, not putting you on the spot, because if anybody else I would ask, I'm just trying to figure out if we're doing what we're supposed to do to make sure that everybody is more focused on, you know, the kid rather than, and I don't really want to tell somebody not to plug, you know, something. I mean, that would be hard. I guess if it's been abused or it's causing a problem, you know, that would be something else, but just to
I
plug
don't-
up something.
Nothing's
I don't
ever
think it's
intentional,
intentional. No,
it's
nothing-
just
nothing
not,
is.
not
Let's be
knowing.
Let me do this.
Right.
Yes.
I've seen this done before, but
It ends
they
up causing
don't really
problems.
realize what they're doing when
And
they
is
do
it a
it.
major problem? Because some of that should be permissible. If they're working and they need something,
I don't see where they would need to plug anything in that we haven't provided.
When we
Most
talked
of the
yesterday,
stuff-
Michael and I said, so some of them they may bring their personal hotspot thinking I'll get better service. But by them bringing their personal hotspot and using it, that backs up.
That can affect our network in some ways.
but if you guys have this texting that's going on with different faculty members and that's giving them better service to respond, would that not be permissible? I'm just asking,
They're not gonna get better service than what we're giving them through Wi-Fi.
really.
We have it unblocked for all cell phones for teachers. When they connect to the Wi-Fi, if they do what they're told and log in correctly, they have full access to that Wi-Fi and can get text messages, they can get apps.
That was a trick question just to see if the job was being done.
We're trying to provide teachers the easiest way
Right.
to access our network to provide what they need for the
Mike,
students.
please say it again, but louder so we can hear. No, seriously, because again, we always hear what's not being done. What's not being done. What's not being, so when there are things that are being done to counter what's not being done, I think that should be displayed publicly and loudly.
That's the job of the IT department, is to strengthen the teachers in the classroom through technology so they can better provide a good education for our students. And that's what we're trying to do.
Does this make us vulnerable in the web?
No. Our firewall, everything that we have security-wise locks us down. It causes network traffic within the network that bounces around, gets into equipment, burns out equipment. I've had to replace several things that have burned out because it's being overworked because the computer doesn't know what to do with it. So, security-wise, we're good.
Mike, you gave us some good news there.
I'll give you
It's
anything
bad
I've got.
and the good.
Kim, you got anything? Good? Sandra?
No, I do not.
Ms. Wild?
Okay, from the JAG department. This past summer, we had some accolades given to our district, one at the state level and the national level. This is the state level, this is for the high school. It says they received a Black Sand Jags, which is Job for American Graduate. Louisiana, Caldwell High School is recognized for achieving 6 out of 6 performance codes. This was given this past summer, y'all can this past summer. And then the national conference in DC, they received a certificate of achievement for JAG presented to Caldwell High School, Louisiana. Congratulations on your outstanding achievement of empowering our nation's young people with the skills and support to succeed in education, employment, and life. This was signed by the National JAG President and CEO. That was this past July. And we have an excellent JAG program at the junior high and the high school. And we have 2 good, excellent specialists as well. Justin Prim at the junior high, he does an excellent job. And also at the high school, we have a new JAG specialist, Stacy Morgan, and she came in there bouncing, and she's been doing so excited. She's so a lot of energy, you know. Both are doing a wonderful job. So we are very extremely proud of our JAG specialists at the junior high and the high school, so I thought I'd let y'all know
Thank you for
that.
sharing that with us.
So you got a 6 out of 6, right?
Mhm.
That's a
As
hundred.
high as we-
Do we have a trophy case?
That goes in the trophy case at the high school,
Okay.
both of those. I'm gonna send it over there, then I had to come back for, take it out trophy case. So I want this, you all to see the good things that's going on, instead of hearing all the negative stuff, so I thought.
And maybe the
So I'll
next
give it
meeting,
back to them, they'll put it back in the trophy case at the high school.
just have the 2 JAG instructors to come so they can just be acknowledged for the stuff that they're doing.
Okay. And, yeah.
All right, item G is superintendent's report.
All right, so our breakfast was a success yesterday, I think.
Yay!
This team.
That was real good.
This team did an excellent job. For those of you, we put a copy of the annual report. We gave this out to everyone. We also put a copy in your folder so that you can look at it. But that was a team effort, 29 pages of everybody out here, you know, condensing what they do for highlights. So I think it was very informative for our business and community members. Lots of good feedback on that. And so just excited about the turnout. I think we had 65 people who ended up showing up, so excited about that. Basketball season is kicking off. Our junior high is playing tonight, and I know our high school is over in Vidalia for a scrimmage, so that's in full force. Playoff game tomorrow. Round 1 against Gina. We can't get away from Gina. But I'm excited for our boys. It's been a tough season for them. They pulled out their first win last week in a great game at Vidalia. And they're excited. They believe, you know. And so I'm very proud of those who have stuck it out and continued working hard. And the last thing I have is we put out the information about the property tax renewal that is coming up December 7th, and that's a millage renewal, 10 years, that we absolutely have to have to function. And so we're trying to make sure that we spread the word on that and get our people out to vote. I think early voting begins the 22nd, is what I put on that. Yeah, so just get out and vote for that.
Nikki trying to skip over that about that breakfast, but she came up with that bright idea about doing the breakfast and with those, in the report. That was a lot of work, and she did an excellent job going over it, because we got a lot of good comments from the community about all the things that's going on in our school system that they didn't know that was going on in our school system. And so she, I think she would give her a little gold star. We appreciate her. Our motto, wherever she leads us, we'll try to follow.
I have something, I'm sorry.
You got something?
Yes, it's a convention time, so I need to know if y'all are gonna go. And I will register you, and I will make your reservations. It is held in Lake Charles this year at the Golden Nugget.
That is a Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, by the way.
Yes, sir.
They
Monday.
call in or complain.
Okay, I will. Monday, it was a check-in if you want to get there really early, but nobody wants to do that. So you're looking at Tuesday through Thursday. I put a tentative agenda in your folder, so look over it, text me, let me know.
Hey,
Take care of you.
is there anything about special education on there?
Let me see.
Because Louisiana passed a law that all school board members have to be trained in special education this year. It didn't say who, when, you know, how long, what that was supposed to entail.
So why don't you go on Liberty Night and give us that training?
I think that's what I'm gonna have to
Go ahead and give
do.
us that training so we can get credit for it.
I was waiting to see if it was by any chance gonna be at this convention, but if it's
No.
not, okay, then I need to go
But
ahead
it's
and.
tentative.
Okay.
February. I mean, it
So
doesn't
what
really
kind of
say.
training?
We don't know the breakout
Yeah.
sessions are.
So what, what kind
Oh,
of?
that's right, it's the early, this only says early bird.
Yeah.
This only says early bird, we don't know
Breakout
the sessions are yet.
Okay.
Let's ask Janet if they plan to fulfill that new law requirement at
That starts in
OSBA.
2025, Rebecca?
2024, so we need it
Because
tonight.
this is 2025, so it wouldn't even suffice.
Is it start for the 24-25 school year?
Yes.
So we
it's
need it
school.
now.
So that's until.
Okay. Well, you had need it before May.
Before then.
Before May.
So August and
Yeah.
May.
That's
We
what.
can do it in December if we find otherwise,
Well, you can
but.
give it to us tonight, because it didn't say how long. Or just tell us we.
Well, hey, she pretty much
Yeah.
just gave
So
it
Ms.
to
Patrick said, anytime you want to stop by her building.
I'm offering 8 hours tomorrow.
Kaylee?
Hey, you signed in?
Well, we get the sign-in sheet ready.
I got coffee for you at
Spread y'all
7.
out all the buildings.
Drink it
There's
at 7
enough.
because you're not taking it in there with you.
Yeah, make sure you're wearing your
Unless
tennis
you wanna
shoes.
wear it. Tennis shoes.
Hey, Mr. Council, I just got one or two things. Elena's not here. Remember, we did the Pam Kelly, Yvonne McKithen, so I want to make sure, hope the board do too, that we do an official for the first home game. Something to that effect, let us know what time, so I hope Miss Yvonne can make it. If she can't, then,
Do we want to do the first home game or do we want to do the?
well, but you wanted to,
Can we do like I guess maybe at the shelters, where they're gonna do something at the shelters, like bring in the uniforms and do something? Did I hear that? Did I dream that?
I do.
I think they were supposed to try to do something, and then maybe we can have like a little cake, coffee, lunch,
the
whatever.
tournament is in
Make them
December.
feel
right?
special.
what I'm gonna ask you, have you seen the schedule?
I got one in my office.
I don't know, I just don't want it to pass by without us doing what we do here.
I mean, not over the top, just something to recognize.
Well, it needs to be over the top, because we know what we're doing.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, and it's not gonna take much to, to get it
I
done.
email myself, so that when I sit down at my desk tomorrow.
And Gary, my
I
other
heard
thing,
that somewhere, but I think we were just dreaming it, but I think I heard that.
my other thing is, I had a parent to contact me. I was gonna publicly do it, but I'm not, I'm just gonna give you guys a copy of it. Nick, when you get a copy of it, I wanna meet with Policy Committee, because I don't want stuff to go where it shouldn't go, but this concerns me that, certain things are happening that should be happening. We need to look at a few things to see how we can correct and hopefully eliminate, it adds to, pretty much some of these other disciplinary problems that we have, so forth and so on. So I just want to make sure we're doing everything we can from this standpoint. I'm always challenged to do it the way I want to do it, but I just don't think it's really necessary to go into it specifically here, because it may be some other issues that have been dealt with that we're not aware of. But at the end of the day, I think Angela told me, maybe I think 7 students have maybe been expelled for drugs, vapes, and all this other kind of stuff. I think we're doing a decent job on that. I think we need to maybe increase and look at something a little bit different. But I'm gonna give you a copy of this. This is the text that was shared with me, and then you see the question that I asked to really deal with the issue that we're dealing with. But at the end of the day, we want to make sure that every kid is safe. At school, every kid can learn. Every parent can feel like the kid is being sent to school doing what they're supposed to do, and teachers are protected when they really need to. And I'll go into this. These issues are happening in the bathroom, and with privacy and all this other kind of stuff, we can't put cameras and stuff like that there. Maybe, I know when we were there, Mr. Hillman would come in the bathroom. I don't know what we can do, but I know the issues now with vape machines and lacing stuff in these vape, whatever you call them, is more prevalent now than they have been, in the last, I guess, since the inception of vape. But I just wanted you guys to be aware that there are. But I'll give you a copy of what.
Does the,
This kind of,
does the machine, pick that up, does the.
Well,
does the-
when you look at I put in there how they're actually doing what they're doing, but again, it's the person where we're not able to really check. You can't check purses and things like that, right? You can't check if the person is overweight and the stomach is over there, something on the belt. You can't check shoes where something may be in socks. And that's where all this stuff has come from. Now, I almost made them violate the policy by having another phone to take a photo of this so I can see it myself, because I wanted to make sure that what's being told to me is true. But I didn't. So I think at some point, Mr. Council, Melinda, you're on the committee, right? Randy? What was it? You mean,
Johnny.
yeah, if we can just kind of look at it and see what we can,
Aren't you on the phone?
maybe.
No, Bo,
I think it's better.
oh, or did we move him?
I think we moved
Did
it.
we move Bo?
I'm sorry, I don't have it memorized,
No, I
but.
think we moved
But that's it here.
Yeah.
That's it, anybody else?
Yeah.
Do I hear a motion to adjourn?
I make a motion to adjourn.
Second.